But the path of the righteous is like the light of dawn, that shines brighter and brighter until full day. Let's begin by looking at the context of the book of Proverbs chapter 4 verse 18. It was written by King Solomon. It's part of the Hebrew Scriptures. King Solomon ruled over Jerusalem from 971 to 931 BC. The theme was to help God's people to become wise and to gain understanding. The book is addressed specifically to a young man. So it's like an exhortation of a father writing to his son. As we walk along the path of life, it emphasizes that there are choices that we need to make. There is the path of the righteous, and this is contrasted in verse 19. The way of the wicked is like the deep darkness, that they do not know over what they stumble. Now let's dive deeper into understanding the book of Proverbs chapter 4 verse 18. In order for us to fully comprehend and gain understanding of this scripture and its meaning, we need to go back to the original language, which it was written in Hebrew. We will examine the words that are used to pen this verse in the Hebrew language. This will give us better insight into what was really being said. So let's begin. The original Hebrew of Proverbs chapter 4 verse 18, path or ora, is used. When we consider other scriptures where this word ora is used, we can see and gain understanding. In the book of Proverbs chapter 2 verse 9, it says, "Then you will understand what is right and just and fair, every good path or ora." In Proverbs chapter 3 verse 6 reads, "In all your ways submit to him, and he will make your paths straight." Again, ora is used there. In the book of Job chapter 6 verse 18, it reads, "Caravans turn aside from their routes, or roads, or ora, or path. They go off into the wasteland and perish." In the book of Psalms chapter 17 verse 4, it reads, "Though people try to bribe me, I have kept myself from the ways of the violent, through what your lips have commanded." And in Isaiah chapter 40 verse 14 reads, "Who was it that taught him knowledge, or showed him the path of understanding?" or ora. So what insight do these scriptures tell us? Well, how are we to understand path? It signifies a way of life or conduct. Path signifies a journey of life, choices, and moral direction which we would take. So it's all about a spiritual journey. This ora, or path, it emphasizes life is not static, but actually a dynamic progression. Life is seen as a spiritual journey towards ultimate divinity, that is, towards spiritual maturity. So metaphorically, the path that is mentioned in the scriptures refers to the journey of life. And in particular, it emphasizes the point that this life is a spiritual journey. Everything that we do in life is all about leading us back home, back to divinity, back to God. Let's further delve into an understanding of the path, the journey of life, which is the spiritual journey. Proverbs chapter 4 verse 18 continues, "The path of the righteous is like the light of dawn." Let's further examine what this phrase light of dawn or morning sun in Hebrew means. It's translated literally or noga. Or literally translates as light or sun, and noga means brightness or radiance. So or noga refers to the brightness or radiance or light that comes from the sun. And we know that divinity is associated with light, and that increased understanding is associated with light, being able to see clearer. But let's look at further scriptures to support this argument. So here we go to Genesis chapter 1 verses 3 and 4. It says, "And God said, let there be light, or, and there was light, and God saw that the light was good, and he separated the light from the darkness." So in this scripture again, light is associated with God. In the book of Psalm chapter 27 verse 1, "The Lord is my light, or my salvation, whom shall I fear?" Again, Lord is associated with light, divinity. Isaiah chapter 60 verse 1, "Arise, shine, for your light, or has come, and the glory of the Lord rises upon you." Again, rising, shining, light is associated with glory and with divinity. Now let's look at Nogah. Book of Job chapter 31 verse 26, it says, "If I have regard the sun in its radiance, or Nogah, or the moon moving in splendor." Isaiah chapter 4 verse 5, "And the Lord will create over all of Mount Zion, and over those who assemble there, a clue of smoke, and a glow, Nogah, flaming fire by night. Over everything the glory will be canopy." So again, these two scriptures talks about a glow or radiance, Nogah. Ezekiel chapter 1 verse 4 reads, "I looked, and I saw a windstorm coming out of the north, an immense cloud with flashing lightning, and surrounded by brilliant light." Nogah, again, brilliance, radiance is emphasized here, just punctuating what the light is. So, what do the occurrences teach us? Consistent use of the Hebrew words to convey light, brightness, and radiance often is associated with divinity, divine presence, with guidance, and with revelation. So when it talks about the path of the righteous being like this, or Nogah, light or brilliance, you can clearly see it's associated with divinity, with guidance, with revelation, with understanding, with wisdom. So thus far, in summary, we can see that the path or the journey of life of the righteous one is like the morning sun or the break of dawn that becomes brighter and brighter until the perfect day. Now let's further understand the last part of that scripture in the book of Proverbs chapter 4 verse 18 in some detail. Again, we will go back to the original language. Now let's consider the latter part of the book of Proverbs chapter 4 verse 18. This is the Hebrew phrase holek weor, which can be translated as shining and growing brighter, or going and shining. Holek means walking or going, giving us a progressive or continuous action of light. Weor means and light and shining. So again, continuity is described here. Where else can we find these words? In the book of 2 Samuel chapter 23 verse 4 it reads, "He is like the light of morning at sunrise on a cloudless morning, like the brightness after rain that brings grass from the earth." Here the phrase is used where it shows the idea of increasing brightness to describe righteous leadership. In the book of Isaiah chapter 58 verse 8 it reads, "Then your light will break forth like the dawn, and your healing will quickly appear. Then your righteousness will go before you, and the glory of the Lord will be your rear guard." Again here, light breaking forth and growing is similar to the concept of shining ever brighter. It's interesting in this scripture in the book of Isaiah where it talks about a healing going forth. And go back to the book of 2 Samuel 23 verse 4, it contrasts cloudless morning with increasing brightness. Again, showing spiritual development and maturity. Now let's look at the final part of the verse. It says, "Until full day," or some translation says, "until the full light of day." The Hebrew phrase used here is adnekon hayom. It can also be translated until the perfect day. Ad means until, nekon means or established, prepared or perfect, and hayom means the day. Now let's consider other scriptures with the phrase. In the book of Job chapter 11 verse 17 it reads, "Life will become brighter than noonday, and darkness will become like morning." Here imagery is used to show increasing light, comparing it to the brightness of noonday. In the book of 2 Samuel chapter 23 verse 4 again, it says, "He is like the light of morning at sunrise on a cloudless morning, like the brightness after rain that brings grass from the earth." Again here it's emphasizing the idea of clear brightness or a perfect day. And again it contrasts cloudless morning with the light of morning. So Proverbs chapter 4 verse 18 talks about this path, the path of the righteous, that gets brighter and brighter until this day becomes perfect, firmly established. It emphasizes gaining wisdom, and it is these scriptures that will help us to gain such light, such brightness, and bring us closer to divinity. In this series we will discuss more of the scriptures and gain this understanding.